Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. My name is Najla Faiza. I'm from 2022 A class with student number 2305086019 and I'm from group 3. So in this opportunity, I would like to do a presentation about introduction to psycholinguistics. So these are our members. The first member is Raihatul Jannah. The second member is Siti Anisa. The third member is Ashana Taziyah. The, the fourth member is Askanita Ulida Hanif. And the fifth member is me. So, what makes language unique? Language is more than just speaking or writing. It helps us communicate, think, and connect with others. Psycholinguistics are people who study how our brain understands and uses language. Other researchers are curious if animals can use something similar to language. They study animal communication to compare it with how humans use language. So, these are the key features of human language. Human language has special features that make it different from animal communication. The first is semanticity, means that words have meanings. Each word we say or write refers to something. Second is discreteness, means language is made of clear, separate sounds called phonemes that we can combine in different ways. Third is duality of patterning, means small sounds like k or a to join to form words, and words can be arranged to make sentences. The fourth is arbitrariness, means there is no natural reason why a word sounds the way it does. For example, there is no reason the word cat means a furry animal. Different languages have different words for it. And displacement means we can talk about things that are not here and now. We can talk about the past, future, or things we imagine. And the last is generativity, means we can make an endless number of new sentences using a small set of sounds and words. So next, grammar and language structure. Grammar is the system that helps us arrange words to create meaning. It has two important parts. First is syntax, is the order of words in a sentence, and lexicon means our vocabulary or words that we know. Humans use grammar to make complex sentences. Animals communicate, but they don't use grammar like we do. Some languages, like Pidaha, do not have recursion, which means they do not have sentences inside other sentences. This shows that culture can influence language. Scientists still debate, did language evolve slowly over time or did it appear suddenly? So next, this is the research on communication abilities in apes. Apes can communicate in more ways than we used to think. They use sound, symbols, and sign language to share their needs. Why study apes? Because they are our closest relatives and are very smart. Learning how they communicate can help us understand how human language started. Eric Landberg said that our language may have developed from animal communication. So, Diana monkeys make different calls depending on danger, like one sound for a leopard and another for an eagle. Kanzi, a bonobo, use different sounds for different foods. This is similar to symbolic language, where sounds represent ideas. At first, scientists tried to teach apes to talk like humans, but it didn't work because apes' mouths are not built for speaking. Then, apes were taught sign language. For example, Washu and Neem learned to sign. Some apes even made creative combinations like waterbird to mean duck. But some experts say apes might just be copying signs to get rewards, not really understanding them. Savage Rambaugh's research tried a different method. She raised apes in a language-rich environment like how we raise babies. Apes that grew up around constant talking used symbols more naturally. Bonobos especially showed strong language skills. This shows that being surrounded by language helps learning. Monkeys don't talk. Even though apes can use symbols, there are big differences. They do not babble like human babies. Humans can make new sentences, but apes mostly repeat phrases they learned. Apes usually use language only to ask for things like food or play, but they do not tell stories or share abstract ideas. Apes versus human grammar. Humans naturally follow grammar rules, but apes do not. They also have trouble with conversations. For example, they interrupt instead of taking turns. Without grammar and conversation skills, apes cannot develop full language like humans. Next is language origins. Studying apes helps us learn where our language came from. There are two theories. The first is continuity theory. Language slowly evolved, and then discontinuity theory, language appeared suddenly and is unique to humans. Scientists also ask when did it begin? Some say between 200,000 and 70,000 years ago. A big cultural shift might have happened around 50,000 years ago. Language origins still. Several things may have helped language develop. First is big brain hypothesis. As humans got smarter, they developed language. Breathing control. Better control helped with clearer speech. And naming inside, at first, we use single words, then full sentences. Grammar is a big part of what makes human language special. For example, Creoles and Nicaraguan Sign Language show that humans can naturally create grammar. Also, a gene called FOXP2 is linked to language ability. Early human languages may have been simple, like pidgin language. In Tok-Pisin, a language from Papua New Guinea, Han Bilang Biwai means branch of a tree, Han Bilang Pik means pig's front legs, and Han Bilang Pisin means bird's wing. You can see they use simple words to describe things. Next is language and thoughts. Is thinking just like talking in your head? No. There is a proof that thought and language are different. In the Curie experiment, a person was paralyzed but could still think. Brother John's case, he lost the ability to speak during seizures but could still plan and think. And people with Williams syndrome or like Christopher have strong language skills but weak thinking or learning abilities. Worf linguistic determinism and linguistic relativity. The theory of linguistic determinism by Worf and Sapir says that language affects how we think and see the world. Example: Eskimo languages have many words for snow, so they may see snow differently. This theory was also used to support the idea that avoiding racist or sexist words could reduce harmful thoughts. Next, criticism of linguistic determinism. Geoffrey Pullum said that many words for snow idea is not true. Other studies shows that people everywhere recognize the same basic emotional and colors. Now we believe that language supports thought but doesn't control it. Language changes when we have new ideas like new words such as internet or Google. This shows that thought leads language, not the other way around. And then Worf makes a comeback. Even though strict linguistic determinism is outdated, language still affects how we think. For example, the word bufflehead is faster and clearer than saying a small, mostly black waterfall with yellow eyes and a crest. Specific words help us remember things better and reduce confusion. Alfred Bloom showed that indirect language can make it harder to understand the meaning, so language still shapes communication and thought. Next, language and cognitive abilities. Here are more examples of how language affects thinking. Counting and numbers. Chinese number words are simpler, so children learn to count faster. The Piraha people have no number words, so they cannot count exactly. And counterfactual thinking. English speakers easily talk about imaginary situations. Chinese speakers may find this harder because of their language structure. Color perception. Russian has different words for light and dark blue. Speakers can spot color differences faster. Sign language and visual skills. People who use sign language are better at recognizing faces and understanding space. So, language doesn't fully control thought, but it does shape how we see, remember, and think about things. Okay, so we are going to a description of the language processing system. According to modularity theory by Fodor, language works through different systems in the brain. There are two main parts. The language production system starts with an idea, then we choose words, put them in the right order, change their form, and say them. Or the language comprehension system works in reverse. First, we hear or read words, then we recognize them, break the sentence into parts and understand the meaning. This system also helps us understand jokes, sarcasm, and conversation. Core properties of language. These are the basic features that all languages share. First is semanticity. Words carry meaning, arbitrariness. Words do not sound like their meaning. Discreteness. Language is made of separate parts like sounds and words. Displacement. We can talk about things not in front of us. Generativity. We can create meaning new ideas using limited words. And duality of patterning. Sounds make words and words make sentences. Next is evaluation of language and thought relationship. So these are two ideas about how language began. First is continuity hypothesis. It developed slowly from early animal communication. Apes like Kanzi and Neem are examples. And discontinuity hypothesis, human language is unique and appeared suddenly with grammar no animal uses. We also see grammar as something built into humans, shown by Creole languages and people with language difficulties. Lastly, even though Worf's strong version of linguistic determinism was rejected, language still affects how we think about colors, numbers, and other ideas. So that's all from me. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you so much for watching my video. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.